bad news for Stephen A. Smith, man. All right, a powerful woman is preying on his downfall, and I'm gonna tell Stephen A. Smith this, man. All right, when a powerful woman preys on your downfall, you usually lose. Okay, that's just how it works. And to be honest, in this situation, I might have to offer Stephen A. Smith some defense, right? Pigs is flying because I might have to defend Stephen A. Smith in this video. So the woman who's preying on Stephen A.'s downfall, her name is Michelle Beadle. Now, Michelle Beadle, on her podcast earlier this week, she called out Stephen A. Smith and other ESPN personalities for essentially selling themselves cheap and having no integrity and no morals because they were promoting this really sketchy, scammy solitaire app, right? Is this gambling app for solitaire? Stephen A. Smith did an ad for it on his Twitter. It's still up. Other people like Mina Kimes did one. Dan Orlovsky did one. They took it down because this app is very sketchy, but they have gotten in business with ESPN. So ESPN is requiring their personalities to post about it. And not just Michelle Beadle, but all of Twitter is calling out Stephen A. Smith and others for essentially selling themselves out for an app that has scammed multiple people and is currently involved in multiple lawsuits. So the ad he does for these crooks is a play on his previous backlash because he was playing solitaire during the finals when he was supposed to be watching the game and covering the finals. He was actually distracted by playing solitaire. People call that out. Like, if you're going to take away a spot from some smaller journalist who's going to be covering the finals and you want to do it yourself, well, you should probably watch the game. So Stephen A. Smith said, y'all really mad I was playing solitaire during the finals? Maybe ask yourself why. Join now for the first time ever. World Solitaire. I blur that out because I'm not promoting these crooks in that app. So he says, starting today on the solitaire blank, I'm not promoting those crooks. Download now. And a lot of people had a problem with this, including Michelle Beadle, because the app is involved in multiple lawsuits currently, and this is not the time to promote gambling while an entire gambling scandal is currently going on in sports.
All the nonsense.
The shilling that's going on amongst our colleagues in this business.
You know what? Let's just get to that right now because I can't stress this enough. Clearly.
Oh, dear.
Clearly. I don't know how much shilling is going on behind the scenes, but people in our industry have embarrassed themselves in ways that I don't think I've ever seen. Like, it is ESPN, a network I've never worked for and clearly have never gonna work for.
You don't know that.
You're right. I don't know that, but I gotta.
It might come a day where it's cool again.
I mean, maybe, but it's not cool right now because these guys are shilling out in ways for corporate daddy as they sit there and drink piss and pretend that it's Gatorade nonstop. Well, let's do the fight against YouTube. It's horrible. And now you have them all fighting for solitary ads for Stephen A. Smith, which, by the way, do yourself a favor and Google that solitaire company who's currently under investigation.
Right now. Currently facing lawsuits over bots and rigged games.
Yep.
Yes, go do.
So,
that brings me joy.
You're being investigated for fraud, and now you have all of these dip just shilling themselves out. But no, not shilling. Let's just call it what it is. Whoring themselves out as harshly as they can.
Because there's a few names in that list that I respect.
Mina. What are you doing, Mina?
I'm doing that.
Dan Orlovsky, you're doing exactly what I expect out of you.
So far, I'm with Michelle, right? 100%. I don't care if your corporate daddy, if ESPN is telling you, hey, man, we paying you a lot of money. You got to dance, boy. And I don't care, right? You don't dance when they say dance. And certain things I say, you know what, bro, I can't do it, man. I know that Mina Kimes, she deleted her tweet about, promoting this solitaire app. Stephen Smith still got his tweet up. So he could care less. He's a capitalist to the core. Cool. But where I believe a lot of people hopped off board, because we understand this completely. Like, we understood what Michelle Beadle was saying here completely. But where people kind of hopped off board and said, we don't like the feeling of this. This is feeling really nasty right now. Is when Michelle Beadle began to go in on Stephen A. Smith and his role at ESPN. Even going as far to say she's preying on the downfall. Once you start bringing negative energy like that, that's when we say it's never that serious, homie. Preying on someone's downfall, it's never that serious. And then people began to investigate and found out, oh no, this is more personal than we thought. It's not about a solitaire app. It's not about Stephen A. Smith, let's say, promoting gambling. No. It's something deep and personal here.
Laura Rutledge, what are you doing? Dan, we know this is what you would do.
Here's the thing. Here's what bothers me about it, right? And look, there's no secret how I feel about that human. But the guy is making money off of here. ESPN pays him a gazillion dollars
to not work there full time,
to get a lot of stuff wrong and yell, right? And he gets caught playing solitaire during the NBA freaking finals.
The thing that he claims to be a fucking genius in.
And so instead of he doubles down and he does this. If I'm ESPN, and I get it. You created this monster. He is bigger than you now. And that's exactly your fault and your fault only. You let him run rampant all over that company and put his face on for everybody who's like, oh, he works so hard. I'm going to let you in on a little behind the scenes. He wants to do that. Nobody's asking him.
He's desperate to do it.
He shows up. I told everyone I work with, I will never share a set with that person, ever, because I don't respect him, and life's too short. The morning of my last day on Get Up, as Greeny was giving me a heartfelt goodbye, and I awkwardly sat there, as I was leaving the set, they started a promo that Stephen A. Smith will be on the show tomorrow. It is him. So let's stop acting like the guy gets worked to death. It's him.
Yeah.
So that being said, I'm like, he made you look like fools for handing him a blank check in the first place because he doesn't even give a shit about the stuff that he's paid a gazillion dollars to talk about. And now he's turning around and turning that into a money-making opportunity. Yeah. And the money-making opportunity, turns out it looks like it's a fraudulent crap business to begin with. Honestly, I'm not a religious person, but I pray for the downfall. I really do.
It's going to be amazing.
It's
going to be amazing.
It's gross, man. You got to have principles in this thing. Look, my principles have definitely cost me money. I'm sure they've cost me jobs. I get it. But I don't regret a single one of them. And
I understand her. I do. But that preying on the downfall part is where I say, come on. Now, if she was preying on Stephen A. Smith's downfall and she had no invested interest into this, I would say, okay, I understand. But when you look at their history and you see Stephen A. Smith has been responsible for kind of pushing her out of certain doors on a consistent basis, not because he's been asked to push her out, no, because he just shows up and has taken her spot or taken her roles or taken jobs from her, you kind of see it as, okay, she's bitter at Stephen A. Smith because Stephen A. Smith has been responsible for her career shakeups. Like, for example, Stephen A. Smith, when he went to Sirius, she had a premier spot at Sirius XM. Stephen A. Smith took that spot from her, and she was very salty that Sirius announced that Stephen A. Smith was taking a spot from her. So because of things like that, it kind of gives less credibility to what she says, and especially when she says she's preying on his downfall, that's a tad bit too much, and people were really upset at her on Twitter. But here is her being very upset that Stephen A. Smith came and took her spot at SiriusXM. The clip you're about to hear is her immediately after finding out that Stephen A. Smith's new show will actually take her time slot, and she also says that she was blindsided and didn't know about the move.
They'll break that down, but just to let you know, that's the context. Them on air the same day they find out. Uh-oh.
What does that mean? Big what?
Big three, that dog.
Oh, you mean, well, if you want 2 hours of Jamal Williams needs to show up for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Wait, who's Jamal Williams? That's right, a guy who doesn't exist. And by the way, I'll have lots of these fun types of nuggets for you for as long as we remain on the air. Just as an appetizer, amuse-bouche, if you will. Yeah, we're coming in hot today, ladies and gentlemen. Coming in hot. Yes, so the cat's out of the bag. I guess we're talking about it. We weren't supposed to, just as a heads up. We were only given a few hours notice, but we weren't told any details. We were promised that no details would be released. We didn't even know who was taking our place in the lineup. Just that it was going to be announced that new show was being added. Unbeknownst to us, the Hollywood Reporter, of course, had all the details. So it was a little embarrassing, I'm not going to lie. I've been in this business for 20 plus years. I've been treated poorly a couple times. This didn't feel good. I'm not going to lie.
Even though her critiques of Stephen A. Smith was pretty valid, it's because of things like this that made her message not really resonate with people how she thought it would. Because instead of people talking about what she said, which was a solitary thing, why is Stephen A. Smith promoting a scam? People is actually talking about, well, how she's bitter. And the comments actually look like this, right? So one user, OG D Wade, says, Imagine if someone prays for her downfall. Pasty II says, Michelle Beadle's show sucks so bad. Stephen A. Smith took over the time slot. ESPN sucks, but come on now. All right, Facts Are Us says, if you're not religious, you don't get to pray. Sit down, Michelle. All right, No Name wrote, she's mad because she got Stephen A. Smith suspended and Stephen A. Smith got the last laugh. If you've been following the Stephen A. Smith and Michelle Beadle beef over the last decade, and you know that last tweet was on point, and which is why a lot of people don't really want to give her the benefit of the doubt, and they just see this as hating. Michelle Beadle was single-handedly responsible for getting Stephen A. Smith suspended from ESPN in 2014. So when the Ray Rice situation happened, Stephen A. Smith came on air, and he gave some pretty common sense advice. Like, he told all women, listen, right? No man should ever put his hands on any woman. We're going to handle the men. But when we get there, he already did it. So we want to prevent men from doing this. So maybe if you got to walk away, walk away. Maybe if you don't got to put your hands on him, don't do it. You don't got to, don't, just do whatever you can to get away and let us handle it. I thought that was pretty common sense advice, man. Michelle Beadle went on Twitter and went crazy on Stephen A. Smith.
About you. And here's what I mean by that. We keep talking about the guys. We know you have no business putting your hands on a woman. I don't know how many times I got to reiterate that. But as a man who was raised by women, see, I know what I'm going to do if somebody touches a female member of my family. I know what I'm going to do. I know what my boys are going to do. I know what I'm going to have to remind myself that I work for the worldwide leader. I'm going to have to get law enforcement officials involved because of what I'm going to be tempted to do. But what I've tried to employ the female members of my family, some of who you all met and talked to and what have you, is that, again, and this is what I've done this all my life, let's make sure we don't do anything to provoke wrong actions. Because if I come or somebody else come, whether it's law enforcement officials, your brother, or the fellas that you know, if we come after somebody has put their hands on you, it doesn't negate the fact that they already put their hands on you. So let's try to make sure that we can do our part in making sure that that doesn't happen. Now, you got some dudes that...
Michelle Beadle heard Stephen A. Smith response and took to Twitter to kind of misappropriate what Stephen A. Smith said. And she wrote on Twitter, I was just forced to watch This Morning First Take. A, I'll never feel clean again. The weaponization, man, of powerful women. B, I'm now aware that I can provoke my own beating. Now listen, bruh, all right? I'm not going to say something here that y'all can take out of context. But she says, I was not aware that I could provoke my own beating. Excuse me? Let's take this from out the context of men and women, because y'all not about to catch me in no out of context clip. Not happening. But let's just say I walk up to another man, all right? And I start yelling in his face. I start calling him a B. I said he's a wimp. I call him all type of names. I'll put my finger around his nose and I wag it in his face. And that man, let's say, punches me, another man. Would I be provoking my own beating? Would I be provoking me getting hurt by that man? You can call it provoking, right? All right, cool. Now, use that in the context in which you may, okay? Maybe even add in, hey, if I walk up to another man and I mushed him in his face and he then beat me up, would I be provoking my own beating then? Okay, then use that as you may. I'm not using the context of a man or woman. You know why? Because y'all not about to catch me in no out of context clip. That woman really said I would never feel clean again, as if Stephen A. Smith like molested her or something, bro. Like, cut it out. Now, so that just shows, you know, she kind of been-headed out for Stephen A. Smith. So she could be right in this situation, but people are just responding how they're responding because they feel like this is some player hating, right? Especially the preying on your downfall. That's deep. Now, Marcellus Wiley knows both Michelle Beadle and Stephen A. Smith, so he gave some important context here, and he would kind of insinuate or imply that Michelle Beadle is salty at Stephen A. Smith because she was, I guess, the next in line. Like, she was supposed to be who Stephen A. Smith is right now, but Stephen A. Smith kind of surpassed her and became who he is.
Smith is the king. He wears the crown right now. Michelle Beadle understands that more than anybody. You want to know why? Because she used to wear the crown as well. Did y'all hear? Yeah, I'm not working with that guy. And there was a time where they were like, all right, You ain't working with him. But when that time passes, oh, guess who wears the crown now? Stephen A. Smith, the day after, whoa, coming right in, swooping it up. So this is the spirit in which they have an issue. This is the resentment you can hear from Michelle Beadle, because Michelle Beadle's different than me. I am the type to think I must win. She's the type that, we just heard it, she wants Stephen A. Smith to lose, praying for his downfall, which to me is out of bounds, unnecessary roughness, 15 yards, repeat the down, okay? So I root for you at your best. I don't give a damn who you are, no what issue I have with you. I'm still a fan of you if I got a problem with you. I don't care. I want you at your best. Because guess what? I don't want you pulling up lame. I don't want you to say your hammy was sore. I don't want you to say, oh, there was some spirits against you. Nah. Light pole to light pole, me and you. No false starts. Your shoes tied, take your shoes off. Whatever you want to do, I want to beat you at your best. Because then I can sit there and feel good and saying, I won. But there's a difference. There's some people out there, Michelle Beadle sounds like one, who wants to win at all costs. So they root against you too. They want to win, yeah, but more importantly, they want you to lose. They root against you. Look a crook, don't matter. I'm getting after you, right? And I'm not like that. And I don't think I'm holier than thou, as she even admits that there were times where she felt she was holier than thou and it cost her. So let's talk about that resentment that cost her, or now that she is living with. Because she feels like, and she certainly felt like, she lost her crown being true to herself, her principles, right? That's how she lost her crown. Okay, no. This ain't the end of that session, this therapy session. Sit back down on that couch. Let's go. Okay, so you feel like you lost your crown because you're true to yourself. But worse, you see someone, Stephen A. Smith, who got it by not being true to himself.
Sounds like your beef is with ESPN and not Stephen A. Smith. So ultimately, man, my grand overall take on this is I agree with Michelle Beadle 100% when it comes to Stephen A. Smith selling out to ESPN and promoting something that's a scam and could potentially cause his audience and his fans a lot of money, because this app is not on the up and up. It's being sued for literally scamming and botting. So yeah, like, you promoting that is scandalous and is wrong. All the other stuff, her lifelong beef with Stephen A. Smith, her lifelong pursuit to bring down Stephen A. Smith, even saying she's preying on his downfall, I don't co-sign that, man. I think that's corny. But y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this, man? Do y'all believe that Stephen A. Smith, needs to go, right? Do y'all believe Michelle Beadle in her assessment of Stephen A. Smith? If you're still watching this video and you want to make videos like this, I got a step-by-step book on how to make your first $10,000 a month on YouTube. Again, I've made $90,000 in 28 days. I can teach you how to make 10,000, bro. Like, look, bro, my channel is all the proof you need, okay? It's never before secrets is in the description, okay? If you're still watching this video and you want to see another dope video, click on this video right here on my screen, right here somewhere, okay? Where I break down this viral video that made me really pissed off, like really tired of the internet. Click on this video right here to find out why I was so pissed. I'm gonna see you guys in this video. Out of here, folks. Peace.